Welcome back, everyone. Drake Hawkins again for some more Ymir. I guess if you're following this as it's coming out, happy Friday. We are doing our day 5 of our 7-day look at Ymir. We might get into the Bronze Age if we get lucky on our techs. Bronze Age, Copper Age, I should say. The game goes way on into like full-on iron technology and whatnot, so it has lots more to go in the tech tree and the development over the course of the game as you get into things. Speaking of successes, that was not one. Plant selection is important because it's going to improve the efficiency of all of our farms. So we need to get that tech going. It's not the most important. I'd really like to get the copper tech going with the, what's it called, metallurgy. And because we have capacity to mine copper in this zone, I believe, if I remember correctly. I haven't. Right, there's a giant copper, or large at least, copper deposit over there. Exceptional tools. One of our tribe's most skilled crafts pigs found stones of unusual solidarity and hardness, and he managed to craft a few tools of exceptional quality. Excellent, so we get basically, effectively, 15 extra hammers. That's a nice boost. Only making 1 for the hammers. They're actually more efficient. This is interesting to know. Buildings have different outputs based on what they're producing. So some buildings takes like hose 0.9. I think this one down here though, we told it to make hammers and he's making 1 hammer, so a little different. Interesting side note. Now we have 51 wood and I've stocked 43 javelins. I'm thinking we probably let that go to about 60, at which point we'll kind of put the brakes on that. Now yesterday, right at the end, we started working on a new, or utilizing a brand new technology, but shiny stones is what I want us to make sure we're continuing to do. We had to put a pause on it because we were out of timber for the job, but I'm going to get that going again and try to keep that cranking until we get it. Protecting food is a pottery requirement, and now we can actually do so. I want to kind of beautify the city and make it more practical and sensible before too long. Fermentation's not something we need at this point. Shiny black stones is obsidian weapons. We're going to be trumping those right away with shiny stones. I'm sorry that word came up. It's painful to hear. I don't normally get political, but hey, sometimes. Elite warriors we're not going to be doing. They would waste a bunch of food and we don't use either of them. So those 2 techs, I kind of wish I could just get rid of them, but they're going to stay on that list for pretty much forever. So we'll leave them there for now until I get annoyed with having them there and finally use them, train them just to get it out of our hair. We have lots of surplus knowledge space, but this one down here we could actually use at some point. We don't have any barley or anything to ferment, so maybe it's something we'll get later. Protecting the food has succeeded. That's excellent. So when we have raids, they get at this stuff, right? So we could basically consider putting some sort of bigger walled-in space, properly defending. I'm thinking up here we'll have some sort of defensive circlet, so to speak, around here. Having all our housing and our storage in there. I don't know that you need the housing in there. It's probably not going to be something they target. People in a state of war can just run into the defended space, but we'll see about that. We also do need to upgrade our housing, which we have the capacity to do fairly substantially right now. Oh, we put the stone guy to sleep. Let him unsleep and he can go on low priority so any surplus population can deal with that. Herd of llamas has been seen near Truffleton. Oh, looks like we might need to go hunting again. Before we do, however, we have some animals already in here, and we've told them to not allow butchering of these guys because we have 2 new types of annexes available at this awesome cattle farm. Now, this is something I'm not sure. I mean, there's pastures. We could do buffalo, chicken, capybaras, and llamas in this region. For wool, we can do llamas. Now, a wool farm is something that is that going to matter? Does fertility matter on the crops? I forgot to check that. I have a feeling it doesn't. Because, I mean, would it really matter? I don't know. We're going to put them up here. Do we? Second guessing myself. Does fertility matter? Well, let's make 1 here. It's going to be 3 fertility. And then, you know what? For technical for science, we're going to go ahead and make another cattle farm up here. Right there. Now, for now, we can do these for the sciencing, but one is going to, that's a wool pasture, right? Provides additional production source of llamas. Now, he's producing 0.5 llama, or 0.5 wool rather, off that one tile right there. That is awesome. Keeping the best plants succeeded. Excellent. Plant selection should improve our productivity of our farms then as well. Now, this thing is going to switch up to critical, because it's in the food category. It's food production stuff. Oh wow, what a lucky start. Also got shiny stones in only, what, our second try? That's amazing. So we got to get into that today. It's going to be a busy day, guys. Okay, so this one I'm going to also temporarily do a crop spot on it. I'm going to make it a really crappy one. Let's find a really crappy spot. 1 fertility. Put it in there. Now, that 1 fertility spot, I have no idea what kind of productivity it's going to give. Make sure both of these guys have their manpower. They've got 3. Good. And you have none, so let's hire you up some people right away. It does seem to affect. That one is 0.5 wool. Oh, hello, what happened? Oh, a storm. It could give us some wood, sure. You have a really, really crappy productivity comparatively. Okay, so lesson learned, and we've definitely... wait a second. If I abandon this building, it disables decays over time. Can I tell this guy to then utilize that building? Can I reassign that building to him? No, I don't think there is a way to reassign annexes. Annex tools. Well, you reorganize annexes by changing their owner. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. Relink, hold left click and drag. Sorry about the vibrating there. That's my phone going off. How's that work? By, oh, that seems to have, oh, he's associated there. Hold left click and drag, add/remove from selecting with control left, from select with control left click. Clear selection, right click. Oh, no. That didn't work. Oh, so I maybe select him and do that on the annex. Nope, I froze the game. What do I do here? Let's close that for a second. Did I freeze the game? I can zoom in and out still. Oh, I can move around still. Okay. How do we do that then? Select there. Okay, this is new. This was never here before. So if I click that, it says allows you to reorganize annexes by changing their owning buildings. Relink, hold left click and drag. Hold left click and drag what? There and drag. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Now that's got 2 associated with it, and that has none. Excellent. Close. Perfect. So you have 2 annexes. Excellent. What we do want to do is change this guy. Now, we're going to shut him off for the moment. We're going to put him to sleep. What we are doing is using this annex, which what? I can't move it. Oh, wait. Abandoned. Restore the wool pasture. Good. Now can I move you? Needs to be restored to be fully functional. No maintenance building decays with time. Restore the wool. Oh, I don't have any... What? What? You need grain to restore a pasture? It's just me or that a little strange. I don't have grain. It's not a thing in the zone. I think I might have found a glitch. Okay. That's interesting. Well, I like that I can reassign them and reconnect them to stuff. But I think that might be a waste. It's showing as abandoned. I can't reassign it because I don't have any wheat. I think it should be some sort of crop, but wheat is a little silly. So, unfortunately, we'll lose that one. That's fine. At least we learned that that's a thing we can do. So those buildings that there we go. Those buildings that I demolished, those extra fields that I demolished, I could have just reassigned them to the other guy. That's great to know. So this working fellow down here, he's going to get a new annex now. He's going to get another pasture annex for our llamas. I'm going to... Oh, or do we? You know what? No, he's not. I'm going to reactivate this one, unsleep him, and I'm going to give him a pasture of llamas that are going to be not for what they're doing right now. They're going to be llamas work that'll be done on making llamas make more llamas, because llamas make llamas is good. There we go. One there. Can we get another one in somewhere? A 3.0. Yeah, there you go. How many more can we fit? One more. We got to make the population of llamas grow, because that's going to be important. I like saying llamas. Llamas is a fun word to say. Llama, 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 llama. Okay, that's enough. We can only do 2. Okay, so we did lose one, unfortunately, because when we took that place down, we did not get our llama back. That's too bad. Okay, so right now what we've got is this guy's making plus 0.1 llamas. Very, very, very slow productivity. Is that because we have too many associated with it? Maybe. Oh, he's only got one dude working there. Okay. There we go. But he's still making 0.1 llama. It seems a little unfortunate. However, we have llama growth, which is something. We're not letting them butcher llamas right now because we need a lot of llamas. This town should be turned from Truffleton to Spitting Hills. Interestingly, the wood fences are for the ones that actually produce food. The stone fences are for the ones that produce wool. That's cool to know. So we're going to leave that go for now. Now, we've used up all our llamas, and they're making baby llamas. That's great. I like that. It's not particularly effective. I feel like there's something weird here that he's only making 0.1 llama. Seems like he should be making more than that. I don't think we can make another llama farm yet, though. We don't have enough llamas. Alright, so we won't make any more wool for quite a while. But this one farm here is actually, because it's a high yield, it's making a 0.3 or 3 fertility. It's making 0.5 wool at a time, which is fantastic. So I'm going to tell them to stock. Give me a stock again, 40 before you use them up for other stuff. And we have the ability to make 2 types of clothing now. We had the tannery, which would use some of our leather to make cloth armor from. And I think we need to put one of those in, probably in here somewhere, right? Probably a good idea. Are these guys movable? No, they're not. Okay, that's fine. And then we want to build a... you can be regular productivity, but you will make us cloth, leather cloth, and that's going to be actually usable for future tech armor. It'll also provide services to the people. Now, it'll provide clothing, which is going to be a vital tech later. I'm going to actually go ahead and add 2 dudes in here so they start making that, and then once a tick hits by, there we go. Now we got leather cloth as a thing. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and stock, not 320. You know what? Do 40 again. Leather cloth before you distribute all of it. They're only putting 0.1 in storage. 0.4 is going to the people. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But you guys can be regular. So we're gonna fire them back down. Now they're producing nothing, but that stock order I just put in is gonna stay there. Next, we want to get our textile industry going, because we are now making. There it is, wool here. Now I don't know if. Actually, you know what? We don't need. I don't think we need wool, actually. Stocked. We will have cloth stocked. This is leather cloth. We will have regular cloth stocked and textile stock piles, but weavers to make this textile. So let's bring them on into the industrial quarter here. And somewhere up here we'll start our production of industrial goods. And I think we'll go ahead with 2 of those guys for now. Probably overkill. I'm not sure how much they can use. I really don't have a clue. So to start with, we're going to force hire a couple of you up. And it says you're going to use 0.1, but that's going to actually be a drain, a substantial drain on our textile. Okay, so you guys really need a lot more wool than that. So that one can go to sleep. Running full, he's going to consume 2.1 wool per minute. They use 2 wool to produce each unit of textile. Okay, so I'm making 0.5 wool right now, so we'll produce 0.25 textile out of this guy. So you're going to go to low priority again because you're not really that vital. And we'll do that, and then we should have actually, that's leather cloth. Oh, you know what? Textiles are what you were making, right? You know what? I'm going to hire you up again just to get those numbers on the board. So I can then go and add the other part of this chain, which is a little longer than the other, but cloth making. Right in there. Okay. One is probably enough, but I'm going to put a second one in just for future expansion. And that one can be put to sleep when it's finished. This guy here, we're going to go ahead and hire him up just to get the numbers rolling. And you can be on low and sleep. You are low and you're awake. You are going to be low priority as well. Because again, this is not as important as food, and it's probably not as important as having basic tools and stuff like that, or the metal production that we're going to get into, hopefully today. But there we go. Cloth is a resource now. We'll manage that by adding, notice the two differences. They have different functions, and they actually do both different functions and different outputs. We do want to stock a bit of cloth, and we do want to stock a bit of leather cloth, so make sure both of those are going. So they'll stockpile some of that, and the ideal need is 5.2. We'll get into what happens with the ideal supply and the demand and amount sold and all that when we talk more about currency later on, if we can get to that before our 7-day stint is done on this. So right now you should have used up most of the wool. We'll let them keep going. They will use up the wool and feel like they're getting lots of textiles. He produces 1.1 textile. Let's look at the balance here. This is 1 textile for every unit of cloth. So we need an equal number of, we're using up 1.1 textiles right now to produce 1 cloth. So basically a fully functional cloth maker, clothier, and a fully functional weaver will balance each other out and produce at an equal rate. So that's good to note. This guy is producing 0.5 wool, and this guy is producing 0.1 llamas. So we will actually eventually get a stock of llamas, and every time we get enough llama to produce another, you're at 66%. So we should be able to get 2 more pastures to produce more llamas. Now, the other thing we can do to boost that is that we can stock up ourselves a new formation army again, another temporary army, the Flaming Pigs. Sounds good to me. You guys can go ahead and be javelins, and we'll do that again. Grab another set. Really just bashes the crap out of our population because we're grabbing so many people and throwing them into the military. They come out of production at that point, so we want to make sure we're quick on that, not waste a lot of time having them in that mode, because that could cause some really unpleasant situations with the people. We're only going to need about 50 action points, though, to go with that. Now, we did recently add the knowledge for, wherever it is, metallurgy, which allows us upgrades to the farm with the plant selection, which we also got, upgrades to our woodcutters, new mining camps, upgrade to our tool makers, a new foundry, and a resource called axes. So we can gather copper, smelt it into copper bars, take our tool makers and get them to make axes, and then those axes are going to be a major upgrade to everything in the community. So that will be fantastic. Let's hit the speed button to get them just another, I don't know, 45 or 50 points, and then they should be able to take some 15 to capture. Might have to do it twice. How many are there? Oh yeah, there's lots and lots of llamas here to be captured. Okay, I'm okay with that. We go ahead and let them go to almost full, because I need at least 1 or 2 capture points. We need to bring back 8 llamas if we can muster it. With that number there's 20 llamas there, so we should be okay if we can bring back, let's see, captures 15, move is 11. Yeah, that's good right there. That's the 95. We'll slow it down at least to half that. So this is normal speed that we've been running on. This is the set overall game speed to twice as much, and then 4 times as much. So we'll let him run that battle even on the fast speed. I think Truffleton is doing okay for its population. It's not growing, but it's kind of stagnant at the moment, but that's mostly because we just took all of the living workforce away. Everybody's currently employed, and we got 30 workers out hunting right now, so When they successfully finish that hunt, we'll see how many they capture and slow it right down when that happens. Because we have no llamas stocked right now, and we can hold 8. So if we can bring back 8 llamas and throw them in the storage, that will allow us to increase both of those pastures to increase the productivity of llamas, possibly having possibly having 2 housing or 2 farms, not farms, 2 animal ranches basically, one producing wool and another producing there we go. Hold on, slow you down. One producing wool and another 2 possibly producing animal growth. You got 8 just from that. Alright, so let's bring them back right now. And you guys can go over here. Pointy sticks! Ooh, spear technology. That's going to be copper we need, which we don't have yet. But that'll allow us to get new military tech, which is awesome. Now, you guys had those llamas. We will unload those 8 beautiful llamas to the village. And then send you guys back down to capture some more. We'll go back into Truffleton while you are doing your battle. And we'll make sure that those llamas are immediately distributed to the ranches. And expand the ranches to allow us to grow more llamas. Oops, hitting buttons. Grow more llamas and eventually do more wool production. So that's going to be our textile industry taken care of. And some substantial increase to our food once we have a couple butcheries going, which is awesome. How many times can I say I love loading into a giant field of crops? Look at that. Yeah, we got, I mean, aside from the fact that it hasn't loaded that, we got all these corn fields up here, which we can implement. We need axes to do the upgrade for that, so that'll have to come later. But we could add, for now, we can add, no, not rice, a lot of corn production in here, which would be amazing. Let's do that. How far can we grab up that hill? 2.4 is going to be okay. I'll let that slide, just because that means we use up the space that wouldn't otherwise be utilized well. Lots and lots of corn. How many did we just do? We're at 13 now. We can do 7 more corn tiles and get our second one almost fully functional. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Oh, laggy lag. Let's let the lag stop so that I can not have a strange activity going on here. Oh, that was the battle completing, right? There. And I think it does, like, the server saves in the background sometimes and things, which gives you a kick in the pants for your processing. Is that enough? I'm totally not paying attention. 18. Okay. 19. And if we can fit one in there, 20. Fantastic. So we have 20 farms now utilizing 100% of their productivity for now until they get to upgrades. Oh, we need mud as well for that. We would like to have a 3rd corn production for sure. Right now, rice is outputting 5.4. They say they need ideally 10, which is wild. Beans are outputting 4.7 of the needed 10, and then corn is 2.6 going into the population. Total 3.5 production. Second hunting of the llamas, or 3rd, I guess now, 4th now, something like that. They gathered another 4. We'll leave them there for a moment, since we have now an actual overstock of llamas here. We seem to have bred a llama in the process. So I'm going to grab the one that's doing regular pastures. He's at 62%. We can do another couple of good pasture spots would be amazing. That's going to give us 2.9. I want the 3. Oops. There. And then another pasture spot. 2.8. 3 right there. Good. I think the 5 is probably going to cap him out on his efficiency. His productivity. And that's the paddock. Not what I meant to click on. There we go. This is the pasture. He's now making 0.2 and he's fully operational. Okay. So if we build another one of these pastures, another one of these farms, not pastures, another one of these cattle farms, I think they're called. Cattle farm level 1. We build another one of those, we can increase our productivity as well for that guy. Now you're going to go critical as well. I'm not sure this guy needs to be critical. I think we'll switch him down to high, because if I'm going to lose, I'm going to have 3 people working there, but our storage is not functional. That would be bad. Now we're at 8, because apparently we're growing pretty aggressively here, which is decent. This one's going to be, again, llama pastures. I only get 2 fertility up there from these. Don't know that I want to crouch anywhere in there. Encroach anywhere in there? Let's see, 3 there. Can this one give me a 3? It can. How about over this way? Can we do 2.9, 2.9? That's pretty darn close. Do we let that slide? Maybe? That's gonna be 3, but he's in the way, so let's see if we can move this one. We can tuck it up somewhere near, I don't know, near the edge here. And let's get another 3 tiles in for you. Higher, please. We got a lot of people critically prioritized, but everything critical is food related. So if we tell them to prioritize something, we're actually pulling off of something else that is inherently less essential. Now that's going to be 3 there. Can I fit any more in here? No. I'm going to have to shuffle them down to there. 2 there. Now, can we sneak in between? No, eh? That's unfortunate. Maybe we move this guy. Tuck him in here. And then the next one can kind of wrap around the edge and connect to the other pasture. You're at 83%, making 0.2, huh? Alright. If we can stick you in there, or there. We can put a pathway through later, that's fine there. He's a 3 fertility. There we go. Okay, now we used up some of the llamas. You see that? We're making 0.4 now, though. So we will have llamas for days. Soon we can start butchering once we get this wool production guy fully stocked. So if we now do wool pastures on these, or llamas, we can start getting some serious productivity out of that. That's a 0.29. It's better than nothing. This one is a 0.3. I think we'll move him into there. Blah. Glitchy, glitchy, glitch. There we go. So now he should be making wool at a rate of 1. Still 0.5. I've just got to finish producing that. There we go. He's making 1 wool out of 55%. So it does seem to take more workload to do the wool production than it does the regular squares, the regular ones. Is there any spot in here I can make point? No, I can't. Okay. Well, let's do this. We'll go like that, I guess. There you go. Okay, so we got 4 wool producing spots there. Is he going to make 1.8? That's pretty good. I was hoping for 2, but I guess not. Our butcher now, however, we now have actually got a surplus of 0.4, right? And our butcher, if we remember correctly, if he goes online, and I'm just going to force start him, so we can look at the number. Yeah, he's only going to consume 0.1. So if we bring our army back, we have plenty of work being done on the animal side of things. We can substantially improve the food production by just bringing this guy home here. And he has some stock of 4 llamas. Good. When he gets home, he will we'll go back into the village. We're going to load that back up. We're going to unload his animals. And that'll bring us to a fairly substantial stockpile of llamas. And then we can take him out of army mode. I think that's probably a good idea at this point. I am a little concerned that if we only have 15 if we only have 15 javelins in the militia, I'm kind of concerned about that. And we have a huge surplus of actual like units sitting around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Truffleton Giants. I'm going to add a batch, recruit a new troop of Javelineers. I'm going to pump that to 15. Recruit them. And then I'm going to take the Flaming Pigs. They have served their purpose as another non-permanent military hunt. Sort of a levy army that we get out of that. Left click there and I can oh, if it'll catch up. Nope. Come on. Unload. There we go. Unload the llamas to the territory storage. Now the Flaming Pigs can actually, the entire unit can just disband. That will put them into the culture. There we go. Our population bumped up there. If you saw that. Do we have... We have entirely full stockpiles. I feel like maybe we need to tend to that right away. Before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and build... If I can get the building options to open up. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. More importantly, I need to make sure that the formations are putting these dudes in the right strategic location since we changed the defenders. Because it would be absolutely horrible. They seem to both be in the right spot. Yep. In defensive they usually do. But sometimes, for some reason, it used to not. And so I'm kind of paranoid about it. I got to make sure they're always in their normal, proper location. And in fact, I wouldn't mind changing that up to be a better defending spot. But this guy is a butcher. I don't want the butchers down there anymore, so I'm going to actually rebuild them. What's it cost to build a butcher? Very little. Some hammers and some stuff, and we're good. Over in this little quarter here, I think is where we're going to have our butchery. I think we're okay for animals like that. We might leave this row here available for more, to add more butchers, or more farmers in. And then maybe we'll start here and go like this. 4 butchers is probably enough along that line. Now, we make a positive 0.3 right now because one of our dudes is using. We can actually bring 3 of these online. That one's going to be low. These guys are going to be high priority. Not critical, because I'd rather not... I don't want to be pulling away from these or these in order to do the butcheries. Butchery, is that the word? Have the butchers running, but at this point... Oh, construction specialist technology. Excellent. Let's do that. Let's get the artisans going on that. That's actually a specialty building that, remember when we auto-build? When we have a building constructing, it says that there's auto-building going on. The builders are a population group that we can put to work on actually building... constructing, and I think they might deconstruct as well, space for our putting effort into our buildings. So speaking of which, we have, I want to get it started at least this time. We have a building that we desperately need, and it is the mining camp. Our mining camp is going to be over here, working on our copper sources here. 0.64 seems to be the max. See if I plop them right in the middle, it's still only 0.64ing that. Now, these aren't annexes at this point. We eventually, I think, do get annexes that relate to deeper mining. But for now, that was an... Oh, there you go. There you go. Self-constructing is one every 2 seconds. And the builders, when we get that tech finished, we can have a building that's specialized population that just sits around and until we build something, and then they actually... Right there, construction specialists. So we can make a builder... That is a government-related building, I believe. Yes, builders. We'll throw them up near the government zone over here, I think. Yeah, we'll put them in there. Oh, we will not, because they take axes to build, so we won't do that. Missing 2 hammers. We're also missing some axes. So right now, these guys are building. They will then be... I think mining won't be any higher priority than regular at this point. But there is another building down here called the Foundry, which we're going to have to build. to utilize some of that production. I'm going to bring him over here. He's going to be up the hill from the mines, but relatively close. Kind of making obvious districts, right? This is the animal husbandry area. We've got our textile over here, where I'm going to also move our leather guy if we can. No, it looks like a tannery doesn't get moved, so that's fine, I guess. So we'll bring, I don't know, let's leave a little space like that. Put a couple tanneries down there. One, two, three, four. So we can put him there and there to have another set and a nice little road down the middle. Yeah, that'll work. See, we're actually out of hammers, which is unfortunate. We have 41 hoes, but not enough hammers. So I'm going to actually swap this over, and you can start doing hammers as well. We can upgrade these. Okay, so these actually reduce the amount of production off of one place, but it halves the number of workers to upgrade this. So I'm going to go ahead and build us a new... can our tool dudes move at this point? They can. Okay, so we're going to move them down towards our production capacity here. So the smelters, or the foundry is over there. We're going to be across the street from the foundry, I think. That guy there. Let's move these. They're faster than rebuilding, I think. And they don't take any resources to rebuild them, so that's fine. I like that idea. We'll move the... See, we're starting to get sort of a feel for a layout of a city here, so to speak. A little bit. And then I want actually 3 builder 2s to go on the opposite side of that block. So one there, and one there. Now, those guys will get in place, and they will be builders. These ones down here are operational builders, and they can be upgraded. But we'll leave them running for now, because the upgrade process for these can take, well, 6.5 minutes on this speed. So that's fairly substantial. We have the mines operating now, which is fantastic. Salt. An idea called salt. Well, we have no hammers for it. And we have no text details. It just says idea salt. So he hasn't filled that one in yet. He hasn't got an idea for that idea. Now, I think we're going to go ahead and get one of these miners. Do we have it? We don't really have the manpower. Well, our manpower is growing really nicely, actually. Hunters, farmers, sailors. I think what we're going to do is have some of our miners that are working on a massive surplus of flint. We can... Do we have those guys set to lower priority? I thought we did. Our forestry is going pretty aggressively. I think our flint mining is over this way. Yes, it is indeed. We have still 4 of those yet. So they produce 1.6 apiece. Our hammers will utilize that soon, but they're set to low priority. That's fine. So we'll kick out those miners to put them over on these mining jobs, I would imagine. Pretty automatically, wouldn't they? Maybe not. I'm not sure why we haven't tired them up, but we're going to do that. There we go. 0.6 copper ore being produced from that one. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And there we go. 0.6 over there. So we should have... Hopefully they're still both working. They are. Okay. So our copper ore should be popping in here. There it is. Copper ore. And I don't know if we need a stockpile of that, but I guess we could tell them to stockpile 20. And just as a very small source of resources there. Then I'm going to put some ground storage over here. So this is a 3-tile building. I'm going to leave space for another 3-tile over there. And then kind of go here, I think. And put in a bit of specialized storage. That in the wrong place. That's fine. They're movable. Now, these tiles, I wish we could just copy and paste, but they're going to be restricted to allowing copper ore. There we go. To bring any copper ore we have there. And this one is going to be restricted. Oops. And here as well. And here as well. We're going to empty all. So we can make sure the right things are in here. This is excessively silly because it's just cosmetic. But I can tell 2 of them to have copper ore. Hello. Stormy times bring good things for us, apparently. That one and that one. 2 copper ore. Yeah, that's alright. And then what? Well, you are going to consume fuel. Now, that's a thing. Oh, we're way over time. Oops. Didn't realize that. It's automated right now. It's going to be able to use coke, charcoal, or wood. Wood is your basic. Charcoal is kind of your next late copper, early Bronze Age tech, and then coke in the Iron Age. But we have enough here. So if I actually hire in some fellows, some fine porcos, metallurgists, that's our first metallurgist tech, they should be able to use the copper that we're getting in here. We now have some copper. And they're going to consume 0.9 copper. Is that because that's the most we have right now? Yeah, 0.9 is all that's getting there because some of it's being told to stock. I'm okay with that. So 2 of these mines running full is going to keep our copper mine going. Now, remember, we had a bunch of surplus wood now. We're using 1.9. 1.9 is going to storage. But this building alone is using 1.3 of the wood. That's pretty intense. Come here, kitty. Oh, domestic cats. Fantastic. So this is actually an effect. These capricious feline animals are very useful to keep rodents away and preserve our food stocks. We should try to tame and domesticate some of them to keep in our village. Good luck with that, pigs. Good luck with that. Humans have tried for a long time. 10 meat would allow us to get piggies, or sorry, not piggies, cats. Okay, so a foundry we do want another foundry. It'll go in here, it'll line up nicely. Space will be great there. Okay, good. This is going to be switched to allow copper instead of copper ore. Do we have copper yet? There we go, copper. Why do we not have copper yet? Or am I just missing it? Hose, wood, stone, flint, clay. Copper. Nope. Okay, close out of there. Why do we not have... Oh, we have 0 stocked, eh? Okay, that's fine. It is going to nothing right now, but that's okay. Should have... I mean, it should be allowed in there at some point, but we'll have to see, I guess. Now, are you guys using... You guys need to be told to use flint only. It's going to be important because they can now use copper to do the same thing. Making copper hammers is a terrible waste of your very precious copper resources. You guys are nearly finished, so you can take over with the less workforce. So right now, we have 6 people working in these 3 buildings. When we finish all upgrades to all these, we have no hammers. Great. Wait a second, we have 0 hammers, eh? Hose. Hammers. Hammers. And you guys, what? You're not staffed? You're not staffed, okay. We're going to switch you guys all to hire up some people to get the hammers we need to upgrade you. Switch you to hammers as well. We'll be swapping those around pretty aggressively over the very short order here. Making 3.9 now. Good. So we'll make a little bit of hammers. We can get these guys, these other 3 upgraded. Then we'll go from having 6 employees in the artisans making tools to having 6 employees making tools. Except for they will be making 1 hammer from the workforce, which is basically higher workforce. 1.2 from that. This is 1.6 with 2 people. Right, so there we go. We can upgrade you now. And as soon as possible, we can now upgrade you. And I don't know if we have the hammers for this last one. Oh, we do. There we go. So all 3 of those will upgrade, and now we also have all these guys working, producing more with less. So you are hammers, and then I guess the third one here can be... you know what? You're going to stay with hammers. We're going to go all 3 of you on hammers because we need it. We need the productivity. Alright, so stockpile, or things are just being thrown down in the dirt. That's not good. I want to fix that before we end this episode, but that will be the last thing I want to do here. I'm just going to put in a fairly general storage in the center. I guess running down sort of... we'll put a cluster of storage across from these things. 3, 4, 5... There are better storage as we get into actually learning how to effectively run warehousing and all that jazz, and that'll be awesome. It does take manpower, but it substantially reduces the space that you need to utilize in order to defend your supplies. And that does become important because the larger raids will be coming in the not too distant future. Hopefully not too quick either, but that's why I upgraded the defenders from 15 to 30, because I want to make sure we've got enough to handle almost twice. They can handle basically twice their rate of attackers, but we're gonna want to utilize. Oh, wait a second. We're gonna want to utilize as much of these sort of efficiencies as we can. Get them a double line of gates, so the guys will try to break through 2 gates, giving them a little longer to defend, actually substantially longer, to defend and shoot the enemy. That will do. Eventually we're going to move that up top and probably wall this whole thing in once we get the ability to make better weaponry that has more range to it. So things are cruising along at ridiculous rates. I'm not even keeping up with it. I'm definitely overwhelmed here with the productivity. We need to make that a regular rate. That's fine. So we're now consuming. We should be consuming, if those are all running, we'll consume all the llamas we have. We have currently a 0.1 growth, and we can only house 8, so any surplus above that will be waste. So these 2 farms are going to produce enough llamas to let our 4 butchers run full out. And right now those 4 butchers are each producing 1.2 meat, 0.2 leather, and 0.2 wool. So we could have this wool guy instead, where is he? This wool guy, instead of producing wool like this, we could let him just produce regular pastured animals and then butcher them for their wool. But in this case, we have this workforce jumping the gun and maximizing the wool production. Instead of him producing a 0.2 llamas, which can be then produced into there we go, which is converted, 0.1 is converted into 0.2 wool. So a double, 1 llama produces 2 wool when butchered, right? So this is 0.4 wool from that guy, and this one is 1.8 wool from the same amount of workforce, if that makes sense. So that's why we're doing that way. There's a lot of wool being produced here, a large amount of wool being produced here actually, and I think we're just not housing. We just don't have the staff to make the textiles do their thing. So flax, cotton, or wool, they are going to use wool when we have the staff to do it. 315 population, we have no surplus, a ton of farmers. Population's growing pretty aggressively. We got to keep that going so that we can then have enough housing to get our textile industry up, which will then let all our porcos have clothes to wear, and eventually let our people have some form of, oh yeah. Right. You got to stay there, but the other guy's got to go away. This over here needs to go away. And can we move this one? No, we can't move our potter. But we'll have to get that done. You know what? I'm going to do that right now because I'll forget if I don't. Who am I kidding? I won't forget. I just want to do it right now. There. We put our pottery in like this. And I think we'll have plenty of them in there if we do that. Probably we'll do 6 of those and 2 leather tanneries for military armor. Oh, we don't have the housing for that. That's fine. But all these, except for 1, probably can go off for now. Just allow them to have enough going to stockpile some of the pottery that we need. Jeepers, Drake, why are you going so overload? That's what we do on this channel. I'm enjoying it, that's why. That's why we're doing such an overload. I'm really enjoying this game. I hope you guys are too. If you do, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, that really lets me know. I'll be watching the interaction on this video a lot, this series a lot. So every week we're going to be doing a 7-day series. Maybe not every single week, but I'm going to try to do 7-day series. This is way over time. It's supposed to be about half an hour long, not this craziness. And every week we'll be producing an episode, a different series on a different game. And then if this one, for instance, gets a lot of attention and people really love it and are asking in the comments, hey, give us some more, give us some more, give us some more, then we can put that on the high priority for reintroducing it as a new series shortly thereafter, after we get a few weeks to see what people think of it. So that's where I'm going with this thing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the concept and the idea of this sort of a series, but if so, let me know in the comments, like I said, and hit the like button if you want to see some more, and we'll see you in game.